Hello, my dear friends. Interesting one today. There's a guy in America, and his name's Sean Graham, and he has set himself the interesting task of trying to review all of my solo and collaborations and the church, I believe, on YouTube.
You are watching The Steve Kilbey Show with Sean Graham.
Welcome back to The Steve Kilbey Show. I'm your host, Sean, and if you couldn't read that button, it says The Steve Kilbey Show with Sean. Will, the host of this YouTube channel, made some of these little pins, which are wonderful. So we're back. We're talking more Steve Kilbey. What will we talk about today? The wheel will tell us. Before we do that, I just want to say that anybody watching these videos, thank you very much, obviously. Much appreciated, and hopefully you're enjoying them. I am looking for suggestions for what to discuss next. If you have a particular album you would like to have me talk about briefly, or maybe you want to discuss it in the comments with me after I drop the next video, send your comments in and pick an album by Steve Kilbey, his solo stuff, the church, any of the many side projects he's done over the years, and I'll pop into that next. Otherwise, I might just kind of mix it up. We might just put some years or some albums or something on the board to kind of change it up a little bit rather than just going backwards here. Sounds kind of fun for me anyway. Anyway, let's spin the wheel. Let's see what we get today. We have sort of been talking about we've definitely been talking about 2024 era, and let's see what this pops into here. Can't see what that is. It's just slightly into the random area. So, almost Kilbey Kennedy, which could have been tough because I didn't really have a Kilbey Kennedy planned. So, I got it. Listen, let's just check this off and let's just hit this up. Let's go for it. So today, we're going to talk about a few different things. We're going to talk about mostly the hypnagogue. Not mostly, but partly the hypnagogue, which is also connected to Eros Zeta and the Perfume Guitars, which is connected to, that's right, Eros Zeta and the Hypnagogue book. And that is also connected to, that's right, one more thing, Pandora Mod Z Art, Sumo Kalo, right? Sumo Kalo. Somebody will correct me, because we all know that I definitely get this stuff wrong sometimes. So the church. They went in to make this album, I think, during Hypnagogue, which is the first of this sort of concept album, concept book, just this general idea that I think Steve had. So the Hypnagogue kind of got recorded, I believe, started during or just before the pandemic in 2020, and then it kind of, split maybe between a couple different years, I believe, which I don't think is the case with Eros Zeta. I believe that they recorded this pretty quickly after, maybe in a couple weeks, in fact. But the Hypnagogue sort of got spread out. I think it got fucked up because of COVID, as a lot of things did. So this is the first one to come out. It came out in February 24th of 2023. Got this nice collage art on the front. Open that baby up there. Got a beautiful painting by Steve Kilbey. I really like this. And it fits into what's going on here thematically on this album. We got Sun Kim Jong there on one side, and I'm guessing Eros Zeta on the other side. Looks like they're about to sign a deal, maybe, to get into the Hypnagogue and record some music. Got that disc there, and just to set the scene here quickly, I'm going to read in the liner notes this, if you don't mind. The Hypnagogue, in a future not worth walking past, the same old future as it always was, Eros Zeta was the biggest rock star in Antarctica. With his band The Perfume Guitars, they racked up hit after hit as the ice continued to melt. Eventually, after suffering from a futuristic version of writer's block, he traveled to Korea against medical advice, where he was to meet Sun Kim Jong, who was the inventor of the Hypnagogue, a controversial machine process event which pulled raw music out of dreamers' heads and recontextualized it as the popular music of the day. Of course, things went wrong, and the music was found to have fatal implications for all those involved, the creators, the listeners alike. These songs then represent the music of the hypnagogue, and they are, in fact, blessings in disguise. So that's setting the scene here for the hypnagogue, and that's kind of telling you what this sort of story of this album is, which is about this guy, Eros Zeta. You could say that's Steve Kilbey in some ways. We'll talk about that in a minute probably. Who it's got writer's block, finds out about this sort of what they said, this controversial process in which you can kind of meld with this machine in a way, and it sort of is able to kind of help you write these songs, or write the songs kind of through you, which is interesting. I know that I saw some people talking about this online. The timing of this is of this particular concept album, the first, I think, concept album actually in the church's career, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's definitely the one I remember as a concept album the most. Just interesting timing, right, with AI kind of hitting the world right now heavily, especially in the arts. I think some people find it to be a useful tool for certain things, writing, and marketing and some sort of creative elements. I think there's an advantage that some people are finding. A lot of people think it's trash. I don't know where you stand with that. I think that it's just still kind of new and it's really still evolving, so it'll be hard to tell where it goes. But anyway, it is kind of interesting timing, because the hypnagogue, this machine that could be seen as AI in a way, created by a person, it's kind of just interesting timing. So the hypnagogue is a really, really, really great album, and I think that I had it had been a while, to be honest, it had been a while prior to this release that I was super excited and staying current with Steve Kilbey solo stuff and the church stuff. It had been quite some years, actually. I kind of fall in and out of it, right? But this was the one and it hit, and it sort of reaffirmed my love for Steve Kilbey and the church. I think that, I don't know if this album was a huge commercial success or not. In my mind, I feel like it was, because to me, it sort of took up a lot of my time. I listened to it a lot that year and talked about it a lot, I feel like, to a lot of people who probably didn't give a shit that I was talking about the hypnagogue again. But I find it very, very, very good, this album. Like, it's almost like the church in top form, I would say. So there's a lot of really, really good songs on this. C'est la vie is really great. Oh, there's something I like about the liner notes here, which, you've seen in albums before. There's just photos with like a line from each of the songs. So Ascendance, you got these photos in here, which are great. C'est la vie, which I love. I Think I Knew, Flickering Lights, The Hypnagogue, Albert Ross and Thorn. We got Aerodrome and These Coming Days. We've got a couple more. Hang in there. No Other You, and Succulent, and Antarctica and Second Bridge. So it's a really good album. C'est la vie is excellent. It's the drums in it. I was re-listening to it the other day, and I think because I frequently am re-listening to this album by Nine Inch Nails called Year Zero that I love. Also a concept album. Not a lot of people's favorite Nine Inch Nails album. Happens to be my favorite Nine Inch Nails album. I listen to it a lot, probably too much. But something about the drumming in one of the songs from that album, Year Zero, called The Beginning of the End, and this song, C'est la vie, the drumming in C'est la vie, they remind me of each other. And so they're kind of a nice pairing. It would be a good double feature of songs, as it were. So C'est la vie is a really, really good song. Flickering Lights, I love. It's so beautiful. Flickering Lights, the music is beautiful. His vocals are beautiful. The music is beautiful. It's a really, really nice song. And it's kind of a nice break. Comes right before the Hypnagogue, which is an earworm of a guitar riff at the beginning. It just really catches you, and it's got some trippy guitar work going on this. I really, really like this song. There's this line. I wrote down something. Hang on a sec. Oh yeah, reptilian bass, kick in your face, the sear in your heart. I mean, I love that. That's excellent. There's great lyrics. It's a cool song. It's great live. I just feel like it's one of those songs too that's kind of textured in a way that when you go back and listen to it again and again, if you are so inclined to do so, I think it rewards you. I think there's a lot going on there that's worth listening to many, many times. I found that to be the case listening to it here on disc, streaming it, and definitely in concert as well. So that's really good. Aerodrome is really good. And I know I kind of mentioned it, I think, when we were talking about the live show that I saw, but No Other You, can we just say it's the best song ever written? I fucking love No Other You so much. It kind of like, it's one of those indescribable feelings that I get when I hear some songs, right? Certain songs that I'm sure we all have this too, where it's sort of, it just reaches like deep inside of you, and it's sort of like it grabs your soul and pulls your soul outside your body, and you're like observing your soul, and you're on this emotional sort of wave, and you're riding that, and it's sort of that whole feeling that just kind of sends you to like another planet. I feel like that's what this song does, because like where it hits on the album is really good. Where it hits in the story of Zeta and his journey is really interesting if you're listening to the whole thing as a concept album, but as a standalone track, No Other You is a fucking banger. It's so beautiful. I love, there's this thing that happens in the song where he says, I think I wrote it down, hang on. Oh yeah. Sun comes along, mute sings a swan song, she's running amok like fuck. It's also like such a beautiful song to have running amok like fuck in there, which I think is really great. But the sun comes along thing, I think he sings twice in the song early on, and this time, and the second time that it comes with these lyrics, there's like another layer of vocals that sort of is harmonizing in a way. I just love that. I love when that happens, and it's so successful, and it's like a change when it happens in the song. So absolutely love that. And second bridge is so good. Second bridge is trippy. Gets a little heavy at times. This album is so good, and I was, again, really shocked how good it was and how much it sort of drew me back in. It's like that Godfather quote, you thought you got out and they just pulled you back in the church. So thank you for that, Steve. And then, so that came out in February of 23, and then later that year in September, I think, of 23, we had Zeta and the Perfumed Guitars. So it's the same band, same dudes putting these both together, same artist, actually, who did the collage art, which, let me get that for you because it's really nice. Her name, I think, Christiana Monard did this collage work on both Zeta and the Hypnagogue, and they're both very good. So, anyway, so what was I saying? Oh, same band on both of them, which is, of course, the current lineup, I think. Still the current lineup. Yep, Steve, Tim, Ian, Jeffrey, and Ashley. And they're really, just at peak form. So this one does the same thing where you've got the photos with the line of a lyric from each song. You should just get this because it's worth flipping through. I don't know if the album, I'm assuming that the vinyl album is just exactly the same stuff, but I could be wrong. So, let's read the Zeta thing, because Zeta also has a little bit of a little info for you. Zeta and the Perfume Guitars were formed in 2048 in Antarctic City in Antarctica. They had many hits, including Realm of Minor Angels, which is on this, and Sublimated in Song, and in all released 6 collections of music. They toured the post-war world incessantly during the early 2050s, and were capable, on a good night, of selling out concerts in most countries that still had gigs. The band were troubled with personnel and substance problems, culminating in Zeta's addiction to Sky, and his subsequent inability to write new songs. In 2054, he journeyed to Korea, where he used the Hypnagogue to create new music. After the disastrous effects these songs created, he died in a traffic accident whilst on his way to the airport to return home. The songs were therefore prohibited in most places. In recognition of his services to Antarctican music, a statue was built to honor him in the Australian quarter of Antarctic City. The band continued on without him to little success, which then led to disbanding in 2057. I wonder if that's Steve Kilbey saying, if he dies, the music dies with him, essentially, not that the music will live on, but you know what I mean, the band It's like, they'd all have to go do their own things. Since it sort of feels at times, in the book anyway, it feels a little bit like similar in some ways to some things that he talks about in his book. So anyway, this came out in September of 23, and it's very good. At first, I would say I liked it more than the Hypnagogue, and I kind of go back and forth. They're both excellent. I think it's such a nice companion piece to this album. So the Hypnagogue and then Eros Zeta came out second, and Realm of Minor Angels is really good. Pleasure is really good. Amanita is excellent. 2054 is so good. So good, 2054. I actually love Manifesto. To me, Manifesto is like pop perfection. It feels very different than anything on the Hypnagogue and anything else, I think, on this. It's like just pop perfection, man. Pop perfection. There's some vocals in it, too, that kind of remind me, like some vocal inflections that are a little bit like Bowie and Jonathan Richman-esque, which I love. It's obviously Steve Kilbey, but it just feels a little bit in that vein, too, so I really like that. Sublimated in Song, I really like. The Weather, I love. It's got such a funky groove. A Strange Past is good. And then the last song, Music from the Ghost Hotel, is just an instrumental track, which is really beautiful too. So I really like this album. Like I said, at first I kind of feel like I liked it more, and I sort of go back and forth, between the two. I saw some people talking about these online, saying that they could have just been one album, that they felt like they were too long between the two of them. Like this was too long by itself and this is too long by itself. If they would have just taken the good songs on these and mixed it together, they would have had a masterpiece. I kind of like both of them. I think they breathe nicely. I don't think they're too long. But I can understand why maybe somebody would think that. They're really great, and all the photos, by the way, are excellent in these. So yeah, it kind of continues on the theme here, the songs that Eros Zeta and his band performed. And I wanted to read a little bit of the lyrics from 2054 that because I really liked it, and it feels sort of, timely. Meanwhile, in 2054, things are getting insane, the cost of living, the lost art of forgiving. All my royalties running down the drain. 1 trillion streams in a millisecond. Let's see, that means I earned about 3 cents. 1 trillion dreams in the human cloud. Now we got no defense. 2054. Meanwhile, in 2054, things are really warming up. The art of prayer, or start talking to the air. Your karma runneth over my cup. 1 million minds in the afterglow, but my guitar is still in hock. 1 million kinds of time in my mind. I just can't find a clock. It's a really great album. It's a really good song. That song, it's excellent. So both of these are really good. I sort of feel like if you get one, you got to get the other, in my mind. And then if you really got excited, like I did, because you were like, what a cool world I'm in, you can pick up the book. This nice paperback book written by Steve, which he talks about. You got the whole little backstory there. And it really just dives more into this journey. I like that the chapters are, the song titles from the albums are the chapter titles. So like Succulent here, I just opened up to. And I like it because it definitely dives deeper into this sort of story. I feel like, I think cinematically because I love movies so much, and when you first hear the Hypnagogue, it definitely speaks that way. So does Eros Zeta and the Perfume Guitars. I feel like the book as well. Like there's definitely something really good here. I remember when he was doing some promo for this record, one of them, I can't remember which one, maybe the second one, he was talking about how great would it be if somebody picked the rights up to this and he was there as a consultant for the filming of this. I could picture it. It's a great story. So there you go. I'll tell you one thing about this. I really enjoyed it. It's a quick, short read. It's under 200 pages. I highly recommend reading it the way I did, which was on vacation, by a lake, in the summertime. It was gorgeous. I was escaping the bugs from the campsite that I was at, so I stepped over, read this by a lake, dipped into the lake a couple times, came out and continued reading. It was wonderful. It was a perfect summer read. It's very funny, this book. Very funny. I definitely recommend reading it, and it expands upon the music if you like that. And then, so that was also, by the way, in 2023. So all three of these came out in the same year. I think this came out in October. So it was like February, September, October, and then if you wanted more, you got more. Steve went in with some new players and made this 5-song EP, signed here by Steve Kilbey. Thank you for that. Love you too, buddy. This signed twice, in fact, which I think is funny. So this band, Pandora Mod Z Art, is the band that Eros Zeta loves. So that character looks up to this band, Pandora Mod Z Art, and this band is, this is what that sounds like. And it is different. It's actually very different than the other two, but in a good way, I think. Like, it's only got 5 songs, and Mankind on Land, track 3, is probably my favorite song on here. It's interesting, this album. It really grew on me, and I like to listen to it in the background. It's got some great art going on here. You can see all that. It's just, it's kind of a fun way, to be honest, to kind of finish out this sort of story, right? I think that they've set up something really great with the hypnagogue that goes into Eros Zeta and the perfume guitars, and then if you really want to dive in, the book is really good, and then the Pandora Mod Z Art thing is just kind of a fun way to end it, because it's very different sounding. It really is than the other 2 albums. If you can stream it, I would recommend streaming it for sure, because it's quite different. And I mean, we talk about it a lot on the show, the sort of prolific nature of this guy, but you look at this stuff, right, this concept album, and I feel like he just can't turn his brain off, is what it seems like. And I think that's such a benefit for us as fans, because maybe you don't like everything he's doing, but I feel like there's shots taken frequently by him that I appreciate. I'm definitely somebody who likes to see people progress as the years go on, or people change in their career. Like, I'm a big fan of Silverchair, because I just am of the right age to have kind of grown up with that. But I know a lot of people kind of shit all over Daniel Johns as that band kind of progressed, and then definitely with his solo stuff. And I always like stuff. I like journeys like that, like musical journeys that kind of change. And I think, seeing this sort of concept album turned concept, I don't know what to call this, concept collection of work, essentially, these 4 pieces here. I think you see Steve Kilbey doing what he does best, stuff that he has always done, but also I think it's weird to me. I feel like we're kind of in like, it's like another heyday for him, not Heyday the album by The Church, but just another, like, it's sort of like he's coming into a really, really powerful sort of songwriting phase in his career, because I just feel like this stuff has been so good since just before the pandemic till now, especially, right? Like, there's a lot of great stuff right before that too, but I just feel like there's something where it feels like we're really, he's just like in tune, knows what he wants, and whatever's getting churned out is just working really well. So the hypnagogue is excellent. Eros Zeta and the perfume guitars is so good as well. The book, Eros Zeta and the hypnagogue, is great. If you like to read, pick it up. I should show. I also got that signed. And then the fun Pandora Mod Z Art, which is a really good way to finish it off. So I highly recommend this whole collection. This whole concept album is very good. Like I said, thank you for watching, first of all. Hit me up in the comments if you have a suggestion for something you would like to discuss next time. Otherwise, I might just change up the wheel a little bit, and we might venture into sort of different waters next time. So thanks for coming on this journey with me. I know we still have a lot more videos to get through until the tour starts here in the States in June. Like I said, get your tickets. I'm very, very excited about that. Definitely going to a couple shows, hoping to go to a couple more. And I'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody.
Hello, my dear friends. Interesting one today. There's a guy in America, and his name's Sean Graham. And he has set himself the interesting task of trying to review all of my solo and collaborations and the church, I believe, on YouTube.
You are watching The Steve Kilbey Show with Sean Graham.